It's the most wonderful time of the year. With kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings where friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, Christopher's going to be teaching you the Andy Williams classic, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Now, what I love about Christopher's arrangement of this song is that he jazzifies it. And when I say he makes it jazzy, I'm talking about the chord work. So this song has a ton of seventh chords. Now, seventh chords are chords that have 4 notes in them, and seventh chords, like the ones we see on screen here, are commonly used in jazz music. Now, this arrangement is going to have a lot of seventh chords in it. Some that you probably have seen and played before, some that maybe you haven't seen or played before, and some of them, as you can see right here, are also going to be barred. So the big takeaway with this arrangement, in my opinion, is that you get a lot of practice with chords and playing chords that are more advanced. So I would recommend this arrangement for the advanced player, somebody who loves to strum and sing but are looking for something a little bit more challenging. So let's take a step back. Let's talk about this lesson. Now, in this video, Christopher's going to be teaching you the first half of the song, but if you want to learn the second half, he's going to be teaching that in the part 2 lesson, which you can check out by clicking this link right here, or going to the site rockclass101.com and doing a search for the song's name. Don't forget to, on that page, are the tabs that you can print off to follow along with, plus the really cool interactive on-screen tab here. Now, this is a great feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tab scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. Just a great asset in learning this tune that much easier. And last but not least, we are going to have backing tracks. So once you learn how to play the ukulele part, you can rock out with the bass player at home. So I'm going to upload 100% speed 75% speed, and if you can feel the beat, I'll upload 50% as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Chris to teach you how to play this. Don't forget to grab the high G ukulele to follow along with, and I'll catch you at the end of the video.
Hello friends, this is Christopher Davis-Shannon with Rock Class 101, and today I'm going to show you how to play Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Don't get intimidated by all of the chords on the page. It's a lot of movable shapes just used across the fingerboard. The introduction sounds a little bit something like this. First chord that we're starting is a D7 sus4, something you may have never played before. 7, 9, 8, 10. But if we take the pinky that's on the 10th fret of our A string, we slide it back a fret, we have one of our standard movable 7th chord shapes. This is actually our G7th chord. Moved on up, and then we're just making the 3rd into a 4th. So a D7 sus4. We're going to strum this once, and then bring it down to just the next inversion of the chord. 5, 7, 5, 5. And note that my ring finger is playing the 7th fret of the C string, and I'm barred across the 5th fret. By using this ring finger here, I'm keeping a connection with the instrument as I go between these two voicings, so that I don't have to jump down and try to get something fresh here. So I'm going to go back and forth between these two, right back to the top one. Then as we come down the second time, we're going to a regular old D7, 5, 6, 5, 5. And note, here's our D7 sus4. We're just moving that one note down, resolving the suspension from the 4th to the 3rd, the second time that we played. So let's try these first 4 bars. 1, 2, 3. Slide it down, slide it back up, slide it down. Then one more time up to that D7 sus4, and then we're going to have this little walk down. So we're going to go B minor 7 flat 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. I'm using a bar for this. You can use individual fingers if you would like. It's totally up to you. And then we're going to play E7 flat 9. This is our diminished 7th chord shape. 4, 5, 4, 5. So you have... And then we're going to play an A7 sus4. We already know this chord shape from up here. We're just playing it on the 2nd fret now. 2, 4, 3, 5. As I said, we're going to use a lot of these shapes just in different contexts with different names throughout the arrangement. So our walk down becomes B minor 7 flat 5, E7 flat 9, A7 sus4, and then we're going to land on a D augmented chord. So if you put down your bar chord D, 2, 2, 2, 5, we're going to add our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, giving us an A sharp. This is an augmented chord. So our walk down sounds like this. And we're going to stop the sound there and rest while we have a vocal pickup. So let me play the intro for you once, and then we'll try it together. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that together slowly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Before we get into the verse of the tune, let's talk about the strumming pattern that we'll be using throughout the entire song, and that's down, down, up, down. Now we're in waltz time in 3/4, so this is going to be slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Except I'm going to swing those middle 8th notes, so da, 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 da. So with our down, up, down, I'm going to use my thumb and index finger. You can use just your index if you would like. It's really up to you. But I think with the thumb and index, we get a little more nuance in here. So let's put down our first chord, a G6. Don't worry about the fingering for a moment. We're going to come down, and then down, up, down. So we get a pattern that sounds like this. What we're going to do is we're going to make the middle strokes, those faster down, up strums, just a little bit shorter. Maybe I'm only going to partially hit my string. So on beat 1, I'm going to come all the way down, and then in the middle, I'm gonna maybe I only hit those bottom two. Maybe on the up, I only hit the top two. And then you have a nice light strum on the back. So we get a full strum, partial strums, and a nice light strum. And that gives us our accent on beat 1, which is so important in a waltz. So let's just try this pattern together and listen to the nuance of it. It's not just down, down, up, down. We get a little bit of dynamics through each and every measure. 1, 2, 3. Good. And once you master that, you have almost all of the rhythms that you need for this entire piece. Now let's talk about that G6th chord. You'll note that the fingering I use is a little odd. I use my ring finger and my pinky like this. Open, 2, ring finger on the C string, pinky on the A string. And why do I do this? Because I'm looking ahead at the next chord, which is a G sharp diminished 7th. And then I have these 2 fingers free to just put down like this. So if I play it like this, I need to make this big leap. Now, if you play your diminished chord with a bar, you can use your middle and ring finger. There's no correct fingering here. I'm just showing you how I generally tend to play this. So we start on G6th, diminished, and then we come to an A minor 7th, 2, 4, 3, 3. So I'm going to use my first finger, pinky, middle, and ring. Now you can do this also with a collapsed bar on the 3rd fret like this on the E and A strings, ring finger around. If this is more comfortable for you, use that voicing for it. Either is fine. And then D7th. So let's just try this first little bar. You can even practice this as a nice little loop, this entire first line of the tune. 1, 2, 3. Let's play it again, the first line. Back to G6, G sharp diminished 7th, A minor 7th, D7th, one last time. Diminished, A minor 7th, D7th. We go back to G6th on our second line, but we're going to use our next inversion up, which is 4, 4, 3, 5. If you ever played D minor 7th before, this is just that, slid up 2 frets, 4, 4, 3, 5. Same strumming pattern. We're going to use our diminished chord shape again, but this time it's going to be on the 3rd fret, 3, 4, 3, 4. So we're going G6th, G diminished 7th, then back to our A minor 7th and D7th, which you already know. So let's hear what it sounds like with the melody, these first 8 measures of the tune, and then we'll try it together. 1, 2, 3, 1. Da 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 dee. Da da dee. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The second section of our verse doesn't have too much new in it. We're going to start on that A minor 7th we already know, to D7th. But then instead of going to G where it would usually go, we're going to go to B minor 7th. If you see from our D7th chord, we're already there, straight across the 2nd fret. And then we're just going to make a diminished chord. Let's just listen to this next 4-measure phrase. We get A minor 7th, D7th, bar across the 2nd fret, diminished. Let's try that together, starting on the A minor 7th. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll see we go back to what looks like our A minor 7th, but this time the bass is playing a C under us. So this is going to be a C6th chord, despite it being the same exact shape. I told you, it looks like a lot of chords, but it's not really that bad. We strum this for 2 measures. And then we're going to go to a C sharp diminished 7th. Again, that diminished 7th chord shape we've already used 3 times throughout the tune, but now on the 3rd fret. And with these diminished shapes, we can always slide them up and repeat them. So we're going to go from the 3rd fret to the 6th fret. So we're going to go. Let's listen to that line from the C6th. So we get C6th, C sharp diminished 7th, and slide it up. And let's listen to that 8-bar phrase, and then we'll try it together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. B minor 7th, C 6th, C sharp diminished 7th, and slide it up. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now our last 8 measures of the verse are going to sound like this. Most wonderful time of the year. Lots of movement here, but nothing that you don't already know. We have one new chord in this entire section. So we're starting out on that second G6 voicing that we used. 4, 4, 3, 5. Da 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 dee. And then this A7 sus4 that we used in the introduction. 2, 4, 3, 5. And you'll see if I'm coming to that from my G6 chord, I'm keeping my ring finger and my pinky in place and just moving these two. It's going to make that transition a lot easier than if we pick everything up and try to put it down. Always look for those common tones and chords. So our first 4 measures of this phrase sounds like this. G6, A7 sus4, and then we go somewhere completely different. B flat major 7, 3, 5, 5, 5. You can play this with individual fingers if you'd like. I'm going to play it with a bar. If you're on soprano, you can even use your middle finger for that second bar. It's up to you. So we're going to play that. And then we'll go up to the very first chord that we used in the introduction. We're going to keep using this throughout. Our D7 sus4 up top for a measure, and then we're going to bring it back down, just a big old D major chord down here. So let's look at that first ending, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Slide up to the D7 sus4, back down. All right, let's hear those 8 bars, and then we'll try them together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sus chord, B flat major 7. Slide it on up. Let's try that, and then we'll put the entire verse together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's put all 3 of these phrases together and listen to what it sounds like for the whole verse. Ba da 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 dee da 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 dee. Back to that A minor 7. Ba da 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 da. C6. Ba da 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 dee. Here's our diminished chord. Slide it up. Ba da 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 dee da do dee. Let's try that whole first verse slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The second verse is exactly the same as the first except for the last 4 measures. So let's look at that. Instead of going to B flat major 7th, we're going to go to D minor 7th. We're setting up, going to the 4 chord, to our C chord at the beginning of the bridge. So we get 2 measures of D minor 7th, G9. So this is the same as our B minor 7 flat 5 that we played in the introduction, just being used in a different context. 4, 5, 5, 5. We've seen this already. And then we're just going to make that a diminished chord. We've used this diminished shape so many times already. You'll really be loving it or hating it by the end of this lesson. So our second ending sounds like this. G9, diminished. You see that diminished shape, we're calling it a G7 flat 9 here, because that's what it happens to be doing musically, but it's still just our diminished chord shape. Let's try those last 4 measures together before we hop on over to the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're on to the bridge of the tune, and we're starting on our C6th chord. And then you'll see a C sharp diminished 7th, and then G6th. And haven't we played this same exact chord progression already in the tune? It was just elongated. Now we're playing it for 1 measure apiece. We get C6th, C sharp diminished 7, G6. And this time we're going to go right back on down to our C sharp diminished 7th again, which is leading us to an A minor 7th, which we know is the same as a C6th chord. But it's going to set us up to go to our D7th chord, our 2-5-1 progression, resolving to G major 7th, open 2-2-2 to our G6 that we started the verse on. So we already know all of these chords, just slightly different timing. So let's listen to the beginning of the bridge, and then we'll try the first phrase together. Da 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 da. Let's try the first half of the bridge together, nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the second half of the bridge is where the fun comes. We start to allude to a modulation that we're going to do later on in the tune. But really what we're doing here is we're stealing from the first ending of the verse of the tune. Remember that B flat major 7th chord that snuck up on us there? We're going to set it up properly this time instead of making it a surprise. So we're going to play a C minor 7th straight across the 3rd fret. We already played B minor 7th down here on the 2nd fret, right? Just 1 fret up. Lots of movable shapes, but the same shapes throughout the tune. And then we finally have something new, and this is one of my absolute favorite shapes on uke. This is one of my favorite chord voicings wherever it is on the fingerboard, and that's this dominant 13 chord shape. We're going to play 2, 3, 3, 5. Isn't that just beautiful and crunchy at the same time? Now I'm going to play this with a double bar. My first finger across doesn't really need to be a bar, but most folks will lay it down. And then the middle finger is going to cover this. This is actually a lot like that B minor 7 flat 5 or G9 that we played earlier, that double bar chord. It's really that, and then we're just adding our pinky on the 5th fret. So we're getting 2, 3, 3, 5. So watch this transition from the C minor 7th to the F13. So we get... Let's try that together, just those 2 chords, C minor 7th and F13. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is setting up our B flat major 7th that we played earlier in the tune, but now it's not a surprise. We've set it up with the proper 2-5-1. By adding that 13th to this F chord, this D, we're creating a common tone with that B flat major 7, making it less jarring. And then we're going to keep with that theme of keeping the D in the chord as we go to an E flat major 7, which is the 4 in the key of B flat, which we've stopped by on the way to the store for just a moment in the key of B flat, but we'll be back soon enough to our home key of G. So let's listen to these 4 bars. This is one of the most harmonically tough parts of the tune. So we get C minor 7th, 1, 2, 3. F13, B flat major 7, E flat major 7. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3. We come on down, we're going to play an A minor 7 flat 5. 2, 3, 3, 3. But this is the same as the B minor 7 flat 5 we played earlier. Just slid on down 2 frets. Just another movable voicing for your toolbox. And then we get something we already know. we're nodding back to the introduction, much as the end of the bridge nods back to the verse of the tune, that surprise B flat major 7. I'm nodding back to the introduction of the tune by bringing back in this sus idea. So we're going up to the D7 sus4, the other inversion, back to it, and then we're going to land on this D augmented chord. So let's listen to those last 4 bars. So we get, and we stop. Let's listen to those 8 measures together, and then we'll try it. This is the tough part harmonically of the tune. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Up top. Now let's try that together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's hear how the entire bridge sounds with the melody, and then we'll piece it all together nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's try that entire bridge together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Alright guys, so first off, big congrats on getting the first half of this song down. Now, this is a tricky tune because of the chord work. There are a lot of chords in this song, but anytime we have an arrangement that is heavy on chords, it really serves 2 purposes. It helps us increase the dexterity of our left hand, so what kind of shapes we feel comfortable with fretting, but it also helps us learn the vocabulary. The more shapes and the more chords we learn, the better it is because we can add them to our repertoire and we can use them in future arrangements. Now, I do want to give you a friendly reminder that if you do want to learn the second half of this tune, Chris is going to be teaching that in the part 2 lesson, which you can check out by clicking this link right here, or going to the site rockclass101.com and doing a search for the song's name. Now, don't forget too, on that page was the tabs that you can print off and keep for your records, plus the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer. So you can literally hit play, watch that tab scroll across in real time, highlight bars, loop sections, slow it down, all that fun jazz. And don't forget too, the backing tracks. So once you do learn all of the ukulele parts, you can rock out with the bass player at home. And I'm going to be uploading 100% speed, a 75% speed, and if you can feel the beat, I'll upload 50% as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed learning the first half of this lesson. We'll catch you in the part 2 lesson, but until then, take care.